Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really pretty Valentine's Day wreath. I hope you enjoy this video because I did have to film it twice because I accidentally deleted portions of the video and had to throw together another one really quickly. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Alrighty, y'all, let us get started. So I saw this on Facebook from my friend Agnes, who owns and operates Just That Perfect Piece, and I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to make one too. So hi, Agnes. Anyway, what I have here, this is a cookie cutter. This is a heart-shaped cookie cutter, and this is an embroidery hoop that I had in my stash. There's no labels on it, and this looks to me like it's a 12-inch. So I have a 12-inch embroidery hoop and this large heart-shaped cookie cutter. You can use whatever shape you want to. I just wanted to use a heart because that's what Agnes used. But anyway, I also have this yarn. I got this at Hobby Lobby. This is from Yarn Bee. This is the velvety smooth yarn. And I know it looks pretty fluffy, but it's really squishy. And when you're putting, blah, blah, English, Amber, what is it? When you're putting your yarn on here, you don't want it to be too thick because then you won't be able to get your outer loop back on. You can leave that outer loop off if you want to. I might put it back on. I don't know. We're going to see after I get it wrapped how I feel about it, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off and put it over here. Now for this, I'm going to have a bow down here with some flowers. So I don't want my cookie cutter to be dead in the center because then the bow might cover it and you might not really be able to tell what it is. So I want to move it up just a little bit closer to the top here. And so let's take the label off this yarn. I've used this yarn before and I have a heck of a time trying to find the center of it. I never can center pull from this yarn. So anyway, we're just going to find the end like this. We're going to make a mess out of it. There it is. There it is. So let's get our end here. Now what I'm going to do is get my scissors. Where do my scissors go? I have my scissors. They must have fallen down. So I'm just going to cut a piece of yarn here. And my glue gun might be heated up to do this part. I don't know. Let's start with the bottom. I'm just going to wrap this yarn around the bottom. Let's place it right here, and then I'm going to just bring it down to the bottom of our loop and just kind of see exactly where I want it. And I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm not going to like really tighten this up because then it's going to pull it down. I want it to be up here. So I'm just going to tie that knot there. Yeah, that looks good. I'm contemplating. That right there. Okay. So now I'm going to trim this off because this yarn right here is just to hold it in place, okay? So now what I'm going to do is let's take us another piece of yarn and then I'm going to tie it up here at the top to kind of hold it in place where I want it before we start wrapping everything else. And this is where my hot glue gun is going to come into play because I want this yarn to kind of be right dead in the center. So I'm going to glue this piece of yarn or try to get it right on the center, right there. That little point at the top of the heart, I'm trying to get it like right there. Okay, so it looks like that. And I'm just going to give it a second and wait for that glue to set up. All right. So as you can see, I went ahead and I tied that top part and then I tied the two sides. Like I said, that's just to hold everything in place so that it doesn't slide around and so that it's not, you know, leaning more towards one side than the other. So now all we're going to do is take this yarn and we're going to wrap it. We're going to go through the heart and then around, through, around, through, around, 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 like so, all the way around. So I'm just going to take this. Where do I want to start? I don't know. Let's just tie it here. And then just be careful as you're wrapping this, you know, so that you don't wrap it too tightly and warp your embroidery hoop. If you have a macrame hoop, you know, a metal hoop, by all means use that. This is just what I had on hand. So yeah, I'm just going to take this yarn. It's kind of squishy. I don't think I'm really going to have to cut this yarn. I think I can fit it through the cookie cutter. And of course, as we use the yarn and get more and more off of the skein, it'll work better. But yep, just going to wrap it around and around and around. all the way around. And I want to take my time with this because I want my yarn to kind of be close together. You don't want a lot of gaps so that you can see through it. But I'm going to continue wrapping this, and then when I'm done wrapping it, we'll come back and decorate it. All right, progress video. So as you can see, I just kind of wrapped it all the way around. Everything looks to be in place. The heart looks to be in place exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to keep on wrapping. Now, when you get up here to like these angled pieces that might be a little bit difficult for your yarn to hold on to, don't be afraid to use a few dots of hot glue here and there to hold it down. It'll be all right. Just keep wrapping. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is what I have. I think I want to try to put the outer ring back on it. I just think that it gives it a more finished look. So we're going to see, and I'm probably going to have to unscrew this just a little bit more because this yarn, wrapped it around several times to make sure, you know, it was nice and full. And I know I want that to be right up top. And I'm hoping that I didn't wrap so much around it that I can't get this ring back on. So let us take a look-see. Oh, I think that's going to be just fine. Yeah, I just think it makes it look better. You leave it off if you want to. I just think it looks a little bit better. More finished. I don't even have to tighten it down. And you can use this to hang it. You can take a piece of wire and run around that screw right there and use that to hang it up if you want to. Let's try to make sure I've got that kind of sort of centered. I think I do. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So now what I want to do is I want to make a bow, and I have some of this wired ribbon. How wide is this? This is 2.5 inch wide ribbon. Let's set this off to the side somewhere. All right, I'm just going to trim a little bit of the end off here. Now, if you want really awesome ribbon, you need to go check out Mel's Crafty Mojo. I'm going to have a link to her site down below. Let's roll this out. Okay, we're going to have to bring this back. You want to take your ribbon. Let's see about how wide I want this bow. I'm going to say that that looks okay. So I'm just going to fold it there. And then I'm going to cut it. I have my rotary cutter over here. I got my little scissor sharpener over there. I need to sharpen my scissors. But anyway, what we're going to do is now we're going to take this and we're going to glue it into a loop with the pretty side out, of course. Come on. There we go. All right. Let's glue this down. Yeah, this ribbon was in my stash. I'm trying to clean out a bunch of junk that I have here in the craft room. And, because I just have like a bunch of little odds and ends, you know. And then I'm going to be placing my big order with Mel's. But anyway, let's flatten that down. And now we're going to cut out another piece. The same size. And then we're going to glue those edges down as well. So we basically have 2 loops. And I think that glue is set up. So now I have a piece of floral wire. I have glue on me. Heaven forbid. I'm just going to lay that wire down. Stop it. Lay that wire down like this. All right, so you're going to take your loop, fold it in half towards you, and then back again. You see, and now that looks like your just standard little bow tie. And now we're going to do the same thing where, oh, that is the back. Uh-oh. Do the same thing with the other one, and we're just going to layer it on top of each other. And then I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to wrap it around just to secure it. And I'm going to tighten it up in the back. Just twist it together like so, and then trim off the excess. All right, so I had this other little piece of ribbon. And let's see, we're just going to turn it over to the back here. And then I'm going to glue right there. And then I'm going to fold this over. And what we're doing now is we're making a piece that we're going to wrap around the center. Okay, so let me glue that. Now, I do have a Christmas video where I made a wreath pretty much in this same style. I can't remember exactly when I made it. It wasn't last year. I think it was a year before. Anyway, if you want to see a Christmas wreath sort of in this style and another way that you can use embroidery hoops, I'll have a link to that down below. I don't think I put any glue right there. All right, so I'm just going to let this glue set up. Okay, so now let's make a tail. Let's take our ribbon here and decide about how long we want our tail. I'm going to say that that looks good. And then we're just going to fold our ribbon in half and cut it like so. that out of the way. All right, so that's the center. We're going to need another piece of wire here. So we found our center. We're just going to scrunch that together like so. Just bend it down a little bit. All right, and I'm going to wrap this wire around it. And I'm just going to fasten that to this. Just wrapping the wire around it, twisting the ends together, and then cutting off the excess. Okay, so now we're going to take this little centerpiece that we made. Let's flip our bow over, and then we're going to push our glue stick down. All right, you're just going to stick it down right there, and then bring it around, wrap it around, bring it up the back, and then put another blob of glue on there to hold it in place. Okay, so I'm not going to fluff these out too much, just a little bit, like so. And now I have, because as you can see on this ribbon, there are roses. So what I have, some of these, oh lordy, it's stuck in the bag. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. These tiny little red rose stems. And then what we're going to do is attach that to our wreath and then put our bow on top. So I am just going to trim off some of these stems. I'm going to cut them way down here at the bottom. We can always trim off more if we need to. I'm just going to cut off, let him go. Just going to cut off a few here, and then we'll put them on. Okay, so these are wired all the way down. So I'm just going to bend them so that it can kind of curve up the side of our wreath here. Now let's find the bottom point. And now the good thing about this is you can wire it down if you want to, because with this yarn, it's going to be real easy for you to push some wire down through there to wire this on. You can glue them down if you want to, but these are kind of sturdy. So I would say that because of their weight, I'm just going to wire them on. So I'm going to work on that, just pushing the wire down through the yarn to hold this down, and I'll be back. Okay, so I have my flowers all wired on, and I glued the bow on. You can wire the bow on if you want to. I just stuck it down with some glue. And now I want a little bit of something up here because it just feels unbalanced to me. So I'm going to find some of these leaves. I'm just going to snip off a few of these leaves. Well, I said I was. Did I even cut that? Barely. So I'm just going to take some of these and I'm going to glue right here, and then I'll glue one of the flowers like I did in the center of that. Oh, why are you bent? I don't know. Look, we're going to get another one. Okie dokie. Oh, I'm knocking my bow off. That glue was not completely set up. My fault. I thought it was. Okay. So now I'm just going to glue a few more leaves up there, I think. And let's let the glue down here on this bow set up, and I'll put a flower on it. All right. So let's finish pressing down that flower. And I think that is that. See, I got the little green leaves there with the flower in the middle, our flowers around the side, and our bow down here at the bottom. And I think I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm very happy with how this came out. Really, really cute. And this will be a really good Valentine's Day wreath. So I think that's what I'm going to label it as here on YouTube, a Valentine's Day wreath. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would, please give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye.